Welcome to session 6 of our gas welding. We've taken our piece, refer back to session 5, that was tack welded without the use of filler rod, again using just the existing sheet metal. This is 16 gauge, 68 thousandths of an inch thick. We're going to run a bead across the two plates, and in this case we will be introducing filler material, and this will be a bona fide weld. I've got it on an angle that I believe you'll be able to see what's going on. Our pressures on the torch are set at just over 2 psi on oxygen and acetylene. We're using a number 2 Victor tip, and the filler rod is 1/16 inch ER70S2, a filler rod that has high tensile and will work more than adequately on this plate. Let's get started. Again, what I'm going to do is lay this piece over the edge so you can see it. It's not perfectly flat up and down. I have a nice neutral flame, nice extension from the tip. I don't want to bury that heat into the plate or we will have flashing back. Again, I'm going to hold the torch on an angle so that you can actually see what's going on. In fact, I think I'll do this left-handed and come across from this side just so you can see what the process is all about. And we'll start at this tack weld area here. Again, this is our filler rod. We're going to introduce that after we've made a molten puddle. So let's start here by liquefying the metal. And notice that I'm controlling the movement of the puddle and the liquefied metal with the heat of the torch. You watch me, I'm pulling away, I'm making sure I'm not burying the torch inside this heat, concentrated heat or puddle. Pulling the torch away when I need to. Oscillating back and forth slightly. The filler rod will be introduced to the heated area. There's the liquefying of the metal. Got a nice hot piece of metal there. See me introducing the filler material. For those who are bored with this process but have ambitions of doing TIG, pay attention here because the end result is very similar to what you have with TIG welding. And in fact, I've had occasions where I've actually done gas welding to make it look like TIG process. Don't get your heat too close to the metal or you will have popping and noises. Risk of flashback, which again we've reduced the risk of flashback by anti-flashback arresters on each of the hoses, so that's not my biggest concern, but blowing hot molten metal out of a puddle is a genuine concern. Again, the objective here is to concentrate your heat so that you liquefy the metal. I'm finding that I need more heat. I need to stay back, but I'm using more heat now. So I can move this process along and it doesn't take 3 hours to make this weld. You should happen to blow a hole, you can fill it. Pulling your torch away. I think I have too much oxygen here, I can hear it. See it in the puddle. I'm dipping the rod into the molten puddle. First I create the puddle. And I dip the rod. Do this rhythmically. You practice this and you can make it look like TIG welds. Again, this is for your benefit that I'm on this awkward angle, but I want you to be able to see the actual formation of the puddle, introduction of the filler material. I'm trying to make a slight crown with that weld. If I'm liquefied on both sides, the penetration will be good. It'll go all the way through. It's starting to get hot. I'm going to pick up another piece of rod. My gloves are getting hot. In fact, I may actually go to heavier welding gloves. These are my TIG gloves. And they're feeling pretty toasty about now. Again, make the puddle first. Dip the rod into the puddle. Oscillate back and forth if necessary with the torch head. Stay on your line. I've Got a heat blanket underneath this, so we're not going to set the shop on fire. Metal's warping as fast as I can weld it. Body and fender people control that heat so they don't end up with a panel that's completely warped when they're done. Approach this end that the tack weld was hanging out a bit. We can actually fill it with metal. Watch how I do that. I pull the torch away to keep it from burning a hole. The idea is to fuse the metal completely. Build it up.